Chris, what is our third main topic today?
This is from Aran from the UK. What's up, guys? Over the weekend, it has been reported by multiple outlets that Florence Pugh and Olivia Wilde got into a screaming match on set, and that Olivia would often disappear from set to be with Harry. What do you make of this? This surely affected the film. Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Aran. And look, I always have to give this preface whenever something around Don't Worry, Darling comes up. We don't like to talk about TMZ celebrity gossip, who likes who doesn't like who bullshit. Like, that's all nonsense. But every once in a while, a story like that directly has an impact on a movie that is currently out in theaters or coming out really soon and has a practical effect on the stuff we do talk about. That is the case with Don't Worry, Darling. Now, we all know about, there's been so much drama between not just Olivia Wilde and Shia LaBeouf and who fired who and who quit and all that kind of nonsense as well, but also the Florence Pugh thing, then the Harry Styles thing, and all that kind of stuff. It's a mess. Well, a new, more official along the lines report has now come out, kind of breaking down what actually happened, what was a series of events, and what has led to the fact that Florence Pugh is not apparently promoting this film and all the tension that's going on. This comes to us from the folks over at IndieWire, and they wrote this. A new report from Vulture offers more details on the behind-the-scenes drama that has plagued Don't Worry, Darling, alleging that Florence Pugh and Olivia Wilde engaged in a screaming match on set in January of 2021. Pugh was reportedly frustrated by Olivia Wilde's frequent disappearances with Harry Styles, who she began a romantic relationship as soon as they cast him, as well as the couple's decision to attend a high-profile wedding despite frequently lecturing the cast about COVID protocols. Florence would give input on how she thought the next scene should be shot when Olivia wasn't there, the story's author Chris Lee revealed on Twitter. She was like, "I'm directing this movie more than you are." That was yelled at one point and people heard it. That spread all around very quickly. All right. So, and again, that comes us from the folks over at IndieWire. Now, how big of an effect did this have on the final product of the movie? You and I will never know. We'll never know. But it's going to have an effect. Because when you're trying to put something together creatively and that kind of tension is on set, I mean, that's hard and that's rough. And listen, I have guffawed for years now about how great I think Olivia Wilde is. I mean, Booksmart is seriously like one of the best directorial debut movies I've ever seen. It's absolutely brilliant and fantastic, and I've been super excited. But when you're the director of a movie, you're the captain. And if you're doing things like firing up an affair with somebody on set, disappearing from set so you and that other co-star can disappear off together, or you start telling your crew and your cast about, hey, follow these COVID protocols because they're shooting in the midst of that, but then you yourself and your new plaything go off, running off, doing things that are completely breaking what you're telling the cast, to the point that the star of your movie is getting completely frustrated with you. They're shooting scenes without Olivia even on set. Like, she's disappearing while they're shooting. Like, just go, I know you guys got it because me and Harry are going to go run over here. Like, that is not how you run a production. And it's why this whole thing has turned into a circus. And this thing made 19 million over the weekend, which was good enough in these very, very, very slim times to be number one at the box office. But if you had asked everybody coming out of CinemaCon, however many months ago, that was May, June, July, August, 5 months ago, when they showed us this big Don't Worry, Darling presentation, no way anybody is thinking this thing's only making $19 million. It wasn't going to be a $100 million opening movie, don't get me wrong. But this kind of drama, this kind of thing clearly had an impact on the film. It clearly had an impact on the bottom line. Hell, the article goes on in IndieWire even to express the fact that the head of the studio, I think at the time was Toby Emmerich was the head of the studio at the time. He had to personally get involved and sit down and try to referee. And apparently Toby Emmerich is the one who hammered out a deal with Florence Pugh to stay on the film and to at least show up to Venice for the premiere and all that. Like, that's how bad it got. And I'm sorry, as big of a fan of Olivia, I've met Olivia Wilde. I think she's an incredible talent. You guys know I'm a big fan of hers, but you cannot conduct yourself as the director of a film like this and expect there not to be any repercussions. And it has hurt their movie. It's hurt the studio. And it's unfortunate. I don't know, Chris, You read this report. All this kind of stuff is now coming out. What was speculation appears a little bit more concrete. What's your takeaway from it?
Well, after this was released too, then 40 crew members came forward and started saying, no, this is not true at all. There's a whole statement of Olivia as an incredible leader and director who was present with and involved in every aspect of the production. She ran the set with class and respect for everyone involved. There was never a screaming match.
Right.
We also had Warner Brothers executives Michael DeLuca and Pamela Adby release a statement to Entertainment Tonight saying, no, there's never been a problem, all of this. Now,
but you know who didn't make that statement?
Florence Pugh. Exactly. So you have to take these things with a grain of salt because, of course, the Warner Brothers executives are going to say, no, everything's fine here. You should go see it. Don't worry, darling. Don't worry, darling. Go. Synergy. So it is a very, someone said this, someone said that thing that honestly, I'm just sick of. I wish we were talking about the movie. I wish we were just talking about how everything went with this. It's unfortunate if all of these really, unprofessional things happened. This sounds like, if they are all true, what a nightmare set to be on. I've definitely worked with directors who have been rude or short, but this is very, very unbecoming behavior if this is true. And I understand, again, if this all happened, I understand Florence Pugh being that upset and that frustrated because it's really, really difficult to show up and do your job and be emotionally available in a very, very difficult film. There's a lot of trying moments in here if your captain's not on board with you the whole way.
When everybody thought that they started going around and hey, it looked like it when everybody thought that Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine. What happened within 24 hours? Chris Pine's rep came out and said, no, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Chris Pine's rep came out and said that. Warner Brothers didn't put out a statement that said Harry Styles didn't. No, it was Chris Pine's people. You would think if there was any wiggle room on the validity of this, that just Florence Pugh herself at some point in this long, arduous process would have just come out or had her rep come out and say, no, listen, everything between me and Olivia is good. But it's very conspicuous by its absence. Hey guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month. And now for the plot twist. I'm just kidding, there isn't one. Seriously, Mint Mobile just has premium wireless service from $15 a month. There's no trapping you into a 2-year contract or opening the bill to find these crazy fees. There's no luring you in with free subscriptions to streaming services that you'll forget to cancel and be charged full price for. I used to dread opening my phone bill every month because every time I was opening it, it was like playing roulette. I never knew what the actual price was going to be, and it always seemed to get higher. But not with Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And if you're worried about the complication of switching things over, don't. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your phone number along with all your existing contacts. So guys, get premium wireless from just $15 a month and no unexpected plot twists at mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Seriously, you'll make your wallet very happy at mintmobile.com/Campea. Anyway, Rob, you saw this, you saw the movie to yourself. You've been on a lot of sets of movies. When that kind of tension is on set, can that ultimately affect the film itself?
Well, here's the thing. I have seen directors and actors have rows on a set. Usually it's over creative decisions. I can understand during COVID protocols, if in your spare time you do something like go to a wedding, people get upset because you're exposing yourself to a lot of other people. I myself got COVID because one of my family members went to a wedding and brought it back with them. Gave the whole family COVID. I have a very difficult time believing that Olivia Wilde, who is a industry veteran, would ever leave the set or go somewhere and hang out, because a director, especially on a movie that's not a $200 million movie, the director is the focal point of everything that's happening on the set.
Yeah.
And I just find it odd that I'm sure someone said, yeah, well, they would slink off together, but not during the day. I can't imagine Olivia Wilde leaving set. And that's why I'm sure the crew said this because it gets to a point where this affects a crew as well. Like, nobody wants to. You're going to work on a movie. You're going to get your next job. You're going to interview with someone. The first thing they're going to ask you is it true Olivia Wilde, left the set? How could you? You don't want your reputation to be associated with that either. And I'm glad the crew came out and said that is BS, because I find that very difficult to believe. I totally believe that they fell in love with each other or whatever on the set, and they would leave together in the morning, maybe show up in the morning and leave together at night. But I don't for a minute believe, because Harry Styles, there's a trailer. That's all people do. You've got a trailer. You come to work, you check in, you know, and the studio is looking at everything that happens during the day. And if you don't get a shot off, you get a phone call. Like if you're behind on your schedule and no one's saying, well, the film fell behind, that's the real telling point. If Olivia Wilde was leaving the set, the studio would say, yeah, they fell behind 2 or 3 days. There's been not one report that the schedule that this movie fell.
Well, it sounds like they just kept shooting. It sounds like, again, to me, the thing is this, because I want to believe all that about Olivia Wilde, because I've been espousing for years how great I think Olivia Wilde is. All it would take is one tweet or one public statement or one slightest word at the Venice Film Festival, at anything, of Florence Pugh. Just Florence Pugh to say, like Chris Pine's rep said, that didn't happen. Florence Pugh has been incredibly conspicuous by her silence in all this. And not saying anything. I mean, and it's not like it's just in 1 week. This is months of this stuff. And she has, you know, we get the excuse that, well, she's busy shooting Dune. We've seen other people busy shooting other movies and make time for a press day and do, or at least whatever. But it makes this believable, especially coming and being doubled down on an outlet like IndieWire. It makes it really, really conspicuous by that. I don't know, but you're just of the opinion that you don't have an opinion about it because you don't believe this actually happened.
I believe certain things happened. So certain the
right,
things
they certainly met and fell in love.
All that I believe, but I don't believe that, because people just don't put up with that. Studios do not put up with that, and the money people don't put up with that, because you're talking about millions of dollars are at stake. And I also don't believe that Olivia Wilde would do that. As somebody, as a filmmaker who is a woman working in the business, it's already hard enough. And this film was something that she was passionate about. She found the script. It was a blacklist script. She rewrote it with her Booksmart writer. I just don't buy it. I don't buy all of it.
Question is for you. What do you think about this report that's come out? What do you think, if the report is true? How does that affect the way you see the film and the people involved? Or do you even believe the report at all and you think it's just like a bunch of nonsense? Whatever you guys think about this, and did it have any impact? This is, I'm bring up here because I had a few people tell me that it did. Does all the drama that went on, did that at all have any impact on whether or not you went to go see the movie? Because I've actually heard from some people that it did. Maybe it didn't for you. Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there.